I'm going to show you how to set up your Myggspray motion sensor from Ikea. You're not going to have the two AAA batteries that you need, so you will need to grab a set of those. This little case fits on here. You've just got to kind of pry that open with a screwdriver, and actually the same with this. As you put that on overall, you've got to pry that off the device. You will find these two stickers inside of here. These are mounting stickers for you. Obviously you can use some screws and things, and you will need to know that there's a little button here, and this is your motion sensor. To get this set up is very simple if you have the right things in your house. Now, what you'll notice on the side of the unit and on the book there is a little QR code and a little numeric code. Those are used for matter-based setup. So these are using matter over thread, and that means you need a thread border router in your home. 2 batteries, 1 and 2, and then we will see the little LED light start to flash, and that's letting us know that this is prepared or preparing for pairing. Now, what do you need in your home in order to make this work? Well, here's an Android phone, and based on the Bluetooth that's on that phone, it should see this sensor and pop up a quick setup, basically. If you have the IKEA Smart Home or the Home Smart application, you can see this just popped up and found the sensor. So I can hit add to home, but in order to use it with this app, I have to have the Dirigera hub, which is a matter over thread border router, and it's also a Zigbee hub. Now, it does make sense, I think, in general, to connect to this app. You get a few more settings, a few more things, but you could just hit add accessory in something like Apple HomeKit. So for now, I'm going to use Apple HomeKit. It's actually one of the best, most reliable ways. You have to have an Apple HomePod or a HomePod Mini or an Apple TV 4K, one of the newer ones. But you just have to hit that add accessory and you find your matter code, scan it, and then you hit add to home. Usually this process is very easy. You can see it's already moved into setting up, so it's already made a connection to the sensor, and now it's just adding it to the entire thread network being created by those HomePods and HomePod Minis or 4K TVs. And there we go. Now we can place the motion sensor in whatever room we want to use it with. So for me, I'm going to create a new room. It's called the basement stairs, and I want to kind of automate that area. Now I've given it a name. I'm hitting continue, and we're all done. So we've got a light sensor and an occupancy or a motion sensor on this. Now I'm going to hit view, and we should be able to see very soon that occupancy is detected. I just flipped this over, and there's the lux or the light levels in my room. Now we can put our cover back on. For our mounting plate, the way it's going, there's that little latch for this. You're just going to snap that on. Now, depending on how you want to mount it, you might have screws in each of these spots. So you're going to basically mount it with this plate on the wall on its own and then push the sensor into that. Before you go and mount this, let me give you some details on it. Now first, this diagram from IKEA is confusing, but what it means is that the sensor can see about 60 degrees out to a distance of 10 meters. Then at an angle of 120 degrees, it can see about 5 meters out. It's sort of a dual range, but before you mount any motion sensor, test the area, see if it's detecting you moving into it. In general, you want to mount this up high, so a couple of meters, and then kind of point it downwards, and the mount actually helps you do that. If you want to corner mount, this is a very good little diagram here. You have the 2 stickers, you place them on the side. So now inside of Apple HomeKit, we can see that there is occupancy detected, and we can see the light level inside of the room. And because I have some lights in that room, I can tap into the occupancy sensor. There's a very easy automation that I can enable right there. So when occupancy is detected in the basement stairs, I can then have the stair lights come on. We can set the level, and because that light is capable of adaptive lighting, then I can have that. Now, turn off. When do I want to turn it off? I can say after 5 minutes, or I can say never, and I can set up a second automation. So let's say we wanted to have the sensor basically when it stops detecting occupancy, then we want to turn off the lights. Now there's no delay in this, so once you stop moving in the stairway at this point, it would just turn off the lights, okay? So that's where maybe you just want to wait 5 minutes and let the lights come off. But that's one option for you. Now, is occupancy detected right now? I just want to show you a demo. Nope, there's none. And so I can flip that over. You can see how quick it went to detected. Okay, so let's just go down the stairs and right there. So there's the little sensor and there's my lighting. It works perfectly. And if I stop moving for long enough, it'll turn off. And there it goes, no occupancy, turned off the light. It does take, yeah, so it does take moving again, but there it'll turn back on. So it does take a little bit of a bigger movement, but still very good, very fast response. So now that I have the overall sensor set up, it's working. One of the nice things about Apple HomeKit is that you can turn on pairing mode and then you can add it to other applications. So I just hit turn on. And now I have a code that I can use, and it's just like setting it up again for the first time. So I'm going to hit the plus in the Ikea app, and I'm going to hit add product, and I'm going to hit scan QR code, but we're going to enter it instead. And I'm going to enter in the number that's on the app. So I took that code, and I'll just show you what I did. I just hit the plus, I hit add a product, I hit scan matter QR code, and I entered it instead. So I just pasted that code in. And now it's doing that same setup process inside of the Ikea app. So we're going to have that in just a few seconds connected to that app as well. So now I'm giving it a name in the Ikea Home Smart application, and now I've hit continue, and now it's just coming back into the app. So now that it's inside of the application, I can look into my devices, and then I can see, okay, here's the battery. I didn't have fully charged batteries. We can see whether motion is detected, and I don't have any lights or plugs in the Ikea app at this point. So we'd have to add some of those in order to kind of get a direct connection to go on. But we can set the sensor's activity, so whether it's always active, whether we want it to kind of follow a schedule, or do we want it to follow sunrise or sunset. You have to give your location access there, but then you can see that it's going to set it, and that means that it will not show motion is detected outside of the timelines, right? So you just have to be careful with that, because even in other apps, once you change this setting, it will affect those other apps for seeing that motion was detected. So in general, you probably want to just leave that. Now we have some basic things that we can do with this product. So we can see some product information, we can change the name, change the rooms, and if we want, we can then go through Matter and put it in another app. For me though, it makes the most sense to continue to manage it through that first app that you put it in. And you know, just for me, Apple HomeKit works very well with lots of these Matter over Thread devices. So again, I can turn on pairing mode. I have another setup code. I can copy that code, and then go to the app. So in this case, Home Assistant. I can go to their devices page and add a new Matter device. And what I'm going to say here is, yep, it's already in use. It's in Apple HomeKit. And now I'm going to paste in that code that I just got from Apple HomeKit and hit Add Device. So once you have it in that first app, it's actually really easy to kind of go and put it into multiple apps and then create your automations there.